为了消除贫富差距，政府近期也是动作频频，除了通过开征富人税，计划要对年所得1000万以上的富人来开征这个税率最高提高到了45%，还提高了囤屋税。非自用住宅的课税也是最高提升到了3.6%。不过呢，这两大手段真的能够缩小贫富差距，解决台湾年轻人低薪的窘境吗？今天关键对话为您专访到了世界知名的穷人银行创办人尤努斯，他鼓吹穷人应该要创业，才能让社会进步。各位观众朋友，大家好！我们今天非常荣幸邀请到了穷人银行的创办人、世界知名的经济学家尤努斯教授来接受我们的专访。尤努斯教授透过借钱给穷人的一个新的银行体系，成功的扭转了全球1亿人口的命运，也为他赢得了诺贝尔和平奖。而在台湾，贫富差距越来越大，同时清贫族的问题也更加的严重。尤努斯教授又怎么看呢？我们一起来欢迎教授。Hello, nice to meet you, Professor Eunice.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Ashley.
We know that everyone calls you banker to the poor, and you decide to lend money to the poor instead of the rich. We're curious about that, and what's the reason for you to do that?
I started at one village way back, some 40 years back, to see if I can be some help to people. And I saw the loan sharking in the village, and I was trying to see how it can be solved. So I said, I cannot solve the whole global problem of loan sharking, but definitely I can solve the problem in this village for a few people. The idea was, why don't I lend the money to these people? If I lend the money myself, then they will not go to the loan shark, and they will be free from the loan sharks. So I started lending from my own pocket, very small amount of money, and I could do that. And people loved it. More and more people came to borrow from me. They didn't have to go to the loan shark, and I was feeling happy that I saved them from the loan shark, and it became very popular. This was in 1976, and then it grew. Then we created a bank out of it, called it Grameen Bank or Village Bank. Then it expanded all over the country. The idea became known as microcredit or microfinance. Then other countries started following that. Now that idea of microcredit has spread all over the world. But the starting was very simple idea, and then it grew and grew.
But we know that a lot of banks that refuse to lend money to the poor because they are afraid of losing money. So we are curious about that. Does your bank make profit?
Yes, indeed. The bank that we created, the Grameen Bank, we made it in a way that it is owned by the borrowers. It's not owned by me, or it's not owned by somebody else. It's owned by the borrowers themselves. So we want to make sure that they have profit, and Grameen banks make profit and gives dividend to their shareholders, which are the borrowers themselves. They get 20%, 30%, 50% dividends from their own work. So it's profitable. We remove the whole idea of collateral. So there is no collateral. The whole banking is done on the basis of trust, mutual trust, and it works. And within Grameen Bank, important thing that they also own the bank, and this bank doesn't take money from outside. It's not taking money from the government. It doesn't take money from the international agencies or anything. Its money is generated within the system. Bank takes deposits and lend the money to the borrowers. And today it has come to a stage where the borrowers' own savings has become big. So they have enough money within their own deposits, own savings, to lend the money of the bank. So that's a very self-contained bank, owned by the poor people, and it makes profit, and profit goes back to them as dividend.
And we know that this year you choose Taiwan to establish your union social business. Why do you choose Taiwan? What problem that you see in Taiwan?
Well, I'm very happy to be in Taiwan. Several ladies who came to Bangladesh, now they want to do it in Taiwan. They invited me to come here to explain what social business is, so that people get as excited as they become excited, and particularly they will be addressing the young people to get interested in that subject, and young people love that idea in other countries, so they thought Taiwan young people will love that too. So out of this visit, a social business center will be launched in one of the universities here, where they will be teaching their students about the social business and so on. So it becomes part of the academic curriculum. At the same time, it will be talking to the business people, how other businesses in other countries have created social business. So I'll explain that, and I'll give examples what we have done in Bangladesh.
Do you think that the idea of bank to the poor can apply in Taiwan?
I hope so, yes, indeed. I look forward to it.
But we are also curious about that. What's its impact to the economy in Taiwan?
Within Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, we have 8.5 million borrowers, and mostly women. 97% of our borrowers are women. These women never be in the work of earning income. They are always depending on husband's income and be as a part of their family and so on, took care of the children. Because of Grameen Bank, they became active people. They have their own money, they have their bank account, they run businesses, they become ambitious to expand their business. So that with 8.5 million people, that means a lot of people generating, contributing in the economy of the country, and they're the beneficiary of that businesses themselves. So that way you're contributing to the widening of the economy. At the same time, you are lessening the burden of the rest of the economy to take care of you, because you're not producing, so we have to produce things to feed you. So that is gone. And the second generation in those families become active because they see the mother is working, they see the father is working, and they understand how it works, how a bank gives a loan and you start a business of your own. So they don't want to see a bleak future for themselves. They say, I can do the same. When I grow up, I can go to Grameen Bank, I take a loan and start my business. I don't have to line up for a job and complain about not having a job. Nothing, I'm on my own. I can take care of myself and my family.
Our young generation facing the problem of high housing price and low salaries, which call them working poor. How do you see this problem? What's the key point to this problem?
Well, the problem is something local. I assume that the salaries are not rising or something is because the economy is responsible. The economy is not moving fast enough, something, or the employers are not getting enough from each employee and so on. But definitely it has to keep pace with the prices of everywhere else. So the adjustments will be needed to see where people feel comfortable, that I can have a decent life for myself for the work that I do. So this is something that has to be resolved within the broader framework of the economy, not just case by case of solving the problem of salary itself. For example, you mentioned the housing is costly. So there may be another reason why housing is costly. There are not enough houses built, or there's not enough supply of housing. So should it become easy if we have expanded the housing capacity and more houses available, their housing cost goes down so that they can do that, or let the housing cost go so that we can increase the salary of the people so that they can afford to do that. So all these questions have to be resolved in a much broader way rather than answering that in a kind of a very segmented way.
But if Taiwan wants to change this situation, we face another problem. That is, we want to seize the opportunity of free trade, but we are worried about the increasing gap between the rich and the poor. What's your opinion?
When you see something in a segmented way, you cover up everything else, just look at one thing, you cannot analyze it, because everything is linked with each other. I just mentioned about the financial crisis and how it created the problem. If you look at the free trade agreement, and anybody will give you the argument, this is good to have free trade agreement because it expands your market and you sell more and then you produce more and your capacity increases, all kinds of positive things that you say. But to do what? That's a fundamental question that I've been raising. I said, today's whole capitalist system itself is in trouble, and that trouble gives us an opportunity to revisit the whole concept of capitalism, where we have made wrong. Because I'm saying that all the problems that capitalism has created today, up to now, is all laid in the flaw of the way we have designed that system. To make it one very quick remark on that, I said capitalism is all focused, the interpretation of capitalism today is all focused on making money. The more money you make, more successful you are. So your life become something of chasing money. Everybody is chasing money because there is no other thing. Because capitalism says that's the only thing we do. You make money, and in the process you create employment, you bring more people, and people have jobs for them, and your nation prospers, your economy expands. Everything sounds good. But in the process, we became money makers, we became money chasers. We started worshipping money. Money has become a sort of a god for us. That's not a good thing. That's not what the purpose of life. Money is just a means. That means for what?
Thank you, Professor Younis. 在资本主义主导的全球经济体系下，尤努斯教授提供了一个新的选项。或许解决问题比创造金钱更加的重要。毕竟贫富差距的问题长久不解决，恐怕才可能会酿成经济的灾祸。